speak about. So music became like therapy for me.
It wasn't just music, citizens. That voice right there is a man who visited this show many of times, someone I could call a friend, someone I could actually call family, because we're connected by family.
Absolutely.
Come on. Shout out to my little cousin.
Hey,
okay.
Lil J.
Okay, little Jalen. He's his son is my cousin, son, Farrah, and he's a beautiful young man who doesn't surprise me, is very talented musically. He's a great songwriter.
No, he's the truth.
He's
gonna be a problem.
His son is amazing. You got to hear him. He's coming soon.
I believe it.
The young man, but he's gone on to do a whole lot of stuff after he was locked up, right? And he talked about that, from that Trouble album to the album we're about to celebrate today, to being in the Guinness Book of World Records and selling as the #1 selling artist for master ringtones. Remember that?
Wow.
Come on. How many artists has he helped launch through his labels? Can you say Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga.
Can you say T-Pain?
T-Pain.
Can you say French Montana? He's connected to all of them. It's not that he just made and wrote hit records. I can't even think of how many hooks he sang on. Hundreds upon hundreds of hooks that he sang on. If you ask people who's the best hook singers in the history of hip-hop, he'll be in your top 5. Easily, right? And so today, we're celebrating him because it's 15 years since he released the Convicted album. And I remember this like it was yesterday.
Crazy.
We were still in the club, smack that. We were still in the club.
How was you doing this way?
Smack that.
Oh, me oh my. Throwback Thursday, baby.
Man,
Wow.
I gotta smack that dance. I used to do, but I'm proud of him, man. This is my family right here. I want to welcome him back. He got a new single out called Enjoy That. It's the one and only Akon, citizens. Akon is there. Man, 15 years. You don't believe it's been 15 years since that album
It
came
feels
out.
like a blink of an eye. It don't even, it don't, I'm shocked to even hear that number.
15, right?
It don't even seem like. It's maybe 15 days, it feels like. I mean, time flew.
When this album came out in 2006, right? It's 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
At that point, how many kids did you have at that time?
I had 4.
You had 4.
Yep.
How many you have now?
I got 9.
Look what happened in 15 years. You average a kid every 3 years, man.
Listen, that's first day strong.
You goofy, Sway.
Him and Nick going head to head right now. Wow, that's amazing. What do you remember about that time when because you were still establishing yourself as an artist, kind of, right? Trouble came out, but you know, this was the sophomore album.
Right.
They always talk about the sophomore blues.
Right.
Who was your competition at that time? Who was on the charts?
Man, honestly, I don't even know.
You don't remember?
I don't even remember who was. All I know is that around that time, I was in every building giving everybody hit records.
What do you mean? Like who?
Like as a producer, as a writer, like that whole era. About 80% of the radio was all written or maybe produced by me at that time.
Wow.
Like you couldn't turn on the radio and not hear me or hear one of the records I produced or wrote.
You know why that's so crazy, Akon? I just read recently Jadakiss said that as an up-and-coming struggling artist, it was very difficult for him to write for Puffy, who was a millionaire at the time.
Right.
And I could understand that, but what's fascinating to me is that when men write songs for women,
right?
Like, how did you? And you don't have to say who if you're not, but how do you tap into that side of it? Like I heard Neo try to explain it,
right.
But how for someone like you? How do you tap into that?
I think everybody has their own method. Like me, it's impossible for me to tap into a woman. So I write it as a man, and then I flip it for a woman.
Then you change
Just
it
the
out.
pronouns.
Just
Okay.
pronouns.
Exactly. So that's me. I write it from a man's standpoint of view because a lot of those songs are easier for women to relate to because they're actually getting game from the man. But it's always a lot of things in there that's familiar to them. So then once you flip it as a woman, it makes it a little bit more aggressive.
Can you give me an example of a woman you've written for that you use that process?
Whitney Houston.
Shit, he
He
just threw
just
that out there.
started
To
the
the
top.
mountaintop. That's how you do it.
You see how he did that?
Yes, wait.
Yeah, Whitney Houston, Sway. What's your question?
Nah.
That's kind of how you did it, though, Akon.
Kind of did like Whitney Sway. I got more too. What song was it?
Like I Never Left.
Like I Never Left. Look
So
that
you
up.
write it. pronoun male and then switch.
Yeah, I write it as if it's gonna be my record.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's gonna be a woman, then I flip the lyrics as if a woman singing it to a man.
Did you do the reference vocals?
I do the reference and everything.
So what did Whitney think of your voice?
She loved it. I mean,
she told you that?
Oh yeah, that's why she kept me on the song. That's how we ended up. What's interesting is the reason why I got so many collaborations is because nobody never wanted to take my voice off the record.
Off the
They
reference
would always want
vocals.
to keep me on there. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I ended up on so many.
Name some more
collabs.
big names. Just start from the top.
No,
Mike.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Let's talk about Mike. So what songs did you write for Mike?
There's a record called "Hold My Hand." That was the record that was released, but we got many more that never was released.
That weren't released. What's this right here, Torch? Is it?
This is Like I Never Left.
Whitney. Let's hear this. Akon wrote this.
I want you to touch
Okay, real up. So what did you write for? So Mike, the Mike song. Were you in the studio with Michael Jackson?
Yeah, we was actually in the studio. We actually recorded this record, "Hold My Hand," in Palm Studio in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
We locked it down for like a week.
The Palm Hotel.
Yeah, the Palm Hotel. They got a studio down there.
What was conversation like with Mike?
Man, the best. Like,
Really?
Just imagine, like, you see how me and you conversate?
Yeah,
That's how me and Mike was conversating. Like, we literally talked about everything. Business, family, women, industry, like everything.
What did Mike say about women?
I knew you was going to ask that.
Lay down.
I knew you was going to ask that.
But as soon as he said it, he was like, damn, why did I say women?
I said this is about to be all over the internet.
What Mike say?
No, but actually, Mike's type was supermodels. He liked slim supermodels.
Uh-huh.
He loves slim supermodels.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Hey, Akon, I like slim supermodel.
Yeah.
That's
Did you
your
really
mic
say that?
voice?
That was my mic. Was
Oh,
it?
okay.
How was it? Did it
I
sound
don't
like
know.
him?
Mike was just because my type, I like slim thick.
Uh-huh.
I like, Mike, you don't like no booty? He said, not too much booty, just a little. He liked him slim,
He said, not too much booty.
not too much booty.
But in the song Beat It, the first line is, your butt is mine.
Yeah, but that's not literally.
He like, damn, Sway. Not literally.
Nah, but he was the coolest dude ever. Like, when I tell you, I wish the world was able to experience the Mike I experienced, the person, the man, the human.
Donny Eisman said the same thing.
In
No,
that
he was
chair.
just the most amazing.
Donny
and
Osmond did
a
say that.
pure heart, though, like a pure heart. I feel like, the media took advantage of his heart.
Knowing him, you have no doubt that those
No
allegations
doubt.
were false.
He would never, ever think, look, or harm any child, man. He like his purpose, he felt, was to save the children. And he felt that he was made as a child star specifically to understand that role of what children should be able to experience in their lifetime to live a successful, healthy life. So when he got older and he didn't get the childhood that he normally would have gotten because of his success, he wanted to pass that childhood down to kids. That's why he built that big ass house in Cali.
The Neverland.
The Neverland. Like, this is an experience for children to actually be children.
Wow.
Like, he really loved children. He always wanted to make sure that sick children had, health care. He would put up his own money, like fund hospitals, medication. His whole life was built around, making sure the children was healthy.
Were you nervous having to write for Michael Jackson?
Nah. Man, no. I had records ready for Mike. Like, I grew up, Mike was like my idol. I'm like, ooh, wait till Mike hear this right here. You know?
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
Yeah.
Damn.
So when something doesn't make the album, do you ever take that as like, damn, does that hurt like your ego?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
It just, listen, like, everybody has a different sound, everybody have a different style,
Yeah.
and everybody's music represents them differently. So when I'm writing for people, I'm shooting in the dark until we actually get in the same room.
Okay.
Sometimes I may hit, sometimes I may miss, but it's cool because if it don't go to you, it's gonna go to somebody else that feels it. So it don't really, to me, it's all merchandise, and I always look at this business like customer service. I'm gonna give you what you want.
Now, do you still get paid even if a song doesn't make it to the album?
No, you only get paid when the song is chosen.
Oh,
So-
not for your time spent though,
I mean,
brainstorming and putting it together.
Well, with me, I used to do song deals.
Okay.
So whether the song got chosen or not, I had already got paid up front.
Nice.
So we just keep going until you find the record you like. Or you can say, you know what, I'm going to catch you on the next album. We ain't in the same vibe right now.
Bet.
It all depends. It's up to you.
Akon, man, we celebrating the Convicted album from 2006. We'll talk about some of those songs too. I love this conversation, man. Lady Gaga.
Ooh.
Do y'all still communicate?
Yeah, absolutely.
When last time you talked to Gaga?
Last time I actually talked to Gaga probably was about maybe, it's been a minute actually now I think about it.
Yeah.
But time's just been flying by so fast.
Yeah, bro.
I think it was last time when her last show in Atlanta was the last time me and her actually spoke. And even then that night I was on my way to Africa. I just passed through to say hello and I was out the door.
What was it that you said to her I don't even know if convince is the best word, but to make her open to working with you at that time?
Actually, it wasn't a conversation of convincing. I think it was something that she wanted to do anyway.
Okay.
Ultimately, it was a matter of me discovering that she was an artist. Because at the time, I had just signed this producer named Red One.
Red One,
yeah.
this
Red
producer
One.
named Red.
Right.
Come on, man. He say names like that, this producer.
I said at the time.
At the time.
The world
Okay.
knows him now, right?
Okay, good point,
So,
good point. Yeah.
And I was writing for the Pussycat Dolls. And that's
He
when
did it again, Heather.
In case you didn't know, drop
guy.
that.
I'm sorry, go ahead, man. Go
Right,
ahead.
and then I just called a block because I was like, right at the time, it was that same in that little month when I had just signed my deal with Jimmy Iovine, and I was just super, super excited. But I had caught a block. I couldn't really come up with nothing. And I was like, man, we need some girls in the studio or something. I need some motivation, right? And then Red was like, well, I know there's one girl you can bounce off with. She's a pretty good writer. And he's mentioned Gaga. And at the time, I didn't know that Gaga was already in the Interscope building.
Okay.
I had no idea. So we write Just Dance, and then she goes in, and she's right. No, and she's demoing the song out.
So
She's
you
demoing
wrote
the song out.
Wait, say that again. Y'all wrote Just Dance.
Just Dance, and she's going to demoing the song out. And I'm watching her in the booth, like, man, this chick is a star. So I was like, yo, Red, what's the situation? Is she signed? Like, what's up? He was like, I don't know. She just comes and writes. And I was like, all right, cool. So when she got out, I was like, yo, like, what is your situation? Like, she's like, well, I'm in Interscope. I said, what? I said, hold on a second. I called Jimmy. I said, yo, Jimmy, I got the first girl that I wanted to be on my label. He's like, who? I said, Gaga. He said, really? I said, yeah, trust me. This is the one. I promise you. I put my label on it. I need this. He's like, all right, well, let me hear what you got. I said, cool. So the next day, we went to go play the song, but he was expecting to hear the record for Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah.
So I said, yo, I got a hit. So he's like, yes, perfect. We played Just Dance. He was like, oh my God, this record is a monster. Wait till the girls hear this.
And I heard it.
I'm like, hold on, the girls, wait, hold on. I think we need to keep this record for Gaga. And he was like, Con, don't do this to me. These girls need to hit this record, And I was like, but this record can break an artist. That record, of course, the Pussycat Girls are globally known. We can make another one for them. They're going to be fine. But this record is different. This can break another superstar in this building. I promise you. And Jimmy was like, you know what? I'm gonna let you do it. He literally believed in me and allowed me to put this record on this girl. But the challenging part about it was that when we first put the records out, the record wasn't coming back.
I remember that.
It took almost a year for this
It took a
record
long
to really
time for
start going.
Gaga to clear.
That's a
Play that
fact.
song. Play that. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Sometimes it take them a long time before they get it.
10 years.
Might take them 10 years.
You know it's wow. That's evergreen. That could drop today.
Crazy.
No, that can drop today.
Yeah.
So
It's
then,
timeless.
what was the turning point for that record? Because most artists or executives, I should say most executives, would get super frustrated if
Not me, because I always
not
thought
you,
global.
but
Always
like
thought
how
global.
the building sometimes they get, what's happening? It's not going. It's been 8 weeks, whatever.
Yeah, so
what was the turning point?
Whatever those conversations was in that building, I wasn't aware of it. All I know is once I realized that the record needed some help, that's when I went on the road.
Okay.
And then I brought Gaga with me. Yep.
Troy Marshall.
Troy, you need a mic,
Troy
Troy.
said he
Troy
needed a
Marshall's-
chair here.
I broke the record.
You broke
the
like,
record.
Yo, he went on the road with me everywhere. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we
Yep.
was out. Yo, urban clubs, top 40 clubs, gay clubs. Yo,
Yep,
we went
did
and worked.
everything.
Y'all worked
And
the
he didn't
record.
charge me nothing. He was like, yo, just make sure I got a first class ticket, make sure I got a presidential suite, and let's go.
Yep.
Oh, he sound like me.
Right.
I ain't gonna charge you, but drop 10.
You gonna drop 10 anyway.
Familiar.
Wow.
It popped from the clubs.
Yep.
Right.
That's where it popped from.
Now, for citizens who are watching this on YouTube or however you're hearing this, Troy Marshall is probably one of the most innovative promotion people to ever come through the music music business ever. There's a blueprint that was created to how to bust and break records.
He's the best that ever did it.
He's the best. He's
Period.
one of the people who wrote the blueprint. So Troy Marshall, Brian Sampson, Sincere Thompson, all these people come from this is my clan right here.
Yeah.
He's the first person to take me to a gun range.
Oh wow! Straight shooting.
Straight up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember that. Akon is here. We're celebrating the Convicted album. 15 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
15 years. There's a song on there called I Want to Love You that you did with Snoop.
Right.
That was on this album.
Yeah. Now that record, did you know how that got started?
No.
That's an interesting story. So, back to my producer songwriting days, I had wrote this record. I ran into Trick Daddy in Miami, and I was like, me and him were just talking, cause I love Trick. I used to love Trick. And then I was like, yo, I want to do something for you. He said, man, I'm ready. Let's go. We got to rock. So I went back home and I wrote this record called I Want to Fuck You.
Oh, that's what it was called initially. Okay.
It was originally supposed to be for Trick Daddy.
Okay.
Oh.
This was crazy. So I write the record. I said, oh, this is going to be crazy. Emailed it to him. My little brother Boo comes in the room. He hears the record. Nigga, you crazy? You ain't giving up this record? I said, Boo, trust me, this record, we good. I can make more. He said, Con, listen, bro, hit records, I get it, you're a hit maker, but certain records you just don't give away. You just don't. I said, well, I already gave the nigga my word. I'm sending it out. I had already sent the record out. Trick is on the road at this point. The record went to the slip and slide email. Plies picked the record up.
Wow.
I love Plies.
Shout out to Plies, though.
Shout out to Plies.
Every day, shout out to Plies.
Plies don't get enough props.
Plies ambushed that. Plies heard it off top, but it wasn't his. It didn't matter. Plies took his voice, because I already had I used to always send my tracks with my chorus already on it. So all he had to do was put verses. He put the verses on it. Leaked the record. The record becomes the biggest record in Florida satellite radio. At the time, there wasn't no Sirius XM.
That's right.
It was the bootleg satellite joints. Remember them?
You remember what they used to call them?
Pirate radio.
Pirate radio.
Pirate radio.
Pirate radio.
Oh shit,
I
that's
had to go to Troy because we used to do it. Pirate radio.
Pirate radio.
Oh my gosh.
That was a thing called pirate
And
radio.
listen, you had tops 48 hours, but you had to move the location, otherwise they coming in.
Word.
Yeah.
Like they would try.
It was big, especially in Florida. It was huge in Florida.
That was how we broke every record in Florida.
Yeah.
So the record become the biggest record in the clubs. It gets back to Atlanta. And I'm like, what's this? I'm like, what the hell is this? So I called Khaled. I said, yo, who is this kid? He said, it's Plies. This is the biggest record in Florida. I said, what? So at this point, Trick is livid because he never even heard the record before Plies put it out.
Right.
So then everybody in SRC is going crazy. Akon got this huge record that's unreleased, and it hasn't been cleared. What do we do? And Boo was like, I said, we got to snatch that back.
Boo said, I told you.
Yep, that's what he said. He said, yo, I told you, bro. I said, all right, we got to get this record back. So then that's when I called Snoop. I said, yo, Snoop, I'm about to put this record out in a week. I need a verse on it like tomorrow, man. I need to send it to you right now. Literally, Snoop sent it right back literally within hours. We got the record mixed, mastered, and dropped the following week. And we put that bad boy out ASAP.
And it became.
But what it did, it was backlash because I felt super bad because Plies was a brand new artist. And I always had pride in giving an artist their opportunity. But for me to have to take that opportunity from him, I felt super bad, right? So me and him actually talked. He was mad as well, too, but I explained to him the situation.
What did he say? He said, man, why y'all do it?
He was like, man, that's messed up, man. How y'all doing this, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood. I ain't got this is my way out. And I felt him. I understood. I was like, you know what? Don't worry. I'm going to get you another one.
Well, Con, where did Plies think the music came from? Like, he just, I'm still trying.
Plies was hungry, boy.
I respected
yours,
it, though.
though.
I know, it wasn't. But I respected him
he
so
did
bad.
what he had to do.
He had to do what he do. But what it did, it opened up his platform because I
Yeah.
went right back in, and that's when I made Hypnotize and gave him that.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah. So Hypnotize
You
was
kept your word.
Hypnotize was a way of cleaning that up for me. Yeah.
And then Snoop came in on it and did this to it.
Right.
We're celebrating 15 years of the Convicted album. Akon is here dropping so many gems. I'm about to open a jewelry store. A lot of gems. Look, we got a lot of people on the lines. I'm going to go through this real quick. Citizens, quick question, and he'll give a quick answer, and then just buy the new single. All right, Sham is in Alabama. Sham, what up, Sham?
Sam from Birmingham.
All
I
right.
just want to comment on Akon's that album. I thought that was the album of the year because it made me want to go to Africa and see the motherland.
Oh, that's what's
The
up.
boy, he got what the elders had as a young man.
Yeah.
That's why I loved that album. I thought it was gonna be record of the year. I mean, album of the year. One of the
And I
greatest albums I've
appreciate
ever heard.
I appreciate
Wow, man, that's a
You
big
are
compliment.
very welcome.
that. No, it
Man,
is.
that's
You
a
are
huge
very welcome.
compliment.
Hey, and I'm
you-
69 years old. I'm 69 years
damn.
old.
You just made it the
I
album
love
of the year.
that album.
See, that to me is more important than the Grammy.
Is
That's
it?
what I do it for.
But you got Grammys,
Oh, yeah.
though, right?
No, I never had
Hey,
a Grammy.
But you
just-
got nominated a lot. Thank you, Sham. You're a citizen.
Of Sway and
Got
the
all those
Money.
Grammy
What?
nominations. You don't have a Grammy? All those names.
Never.
Whitney, Gaga,
Never.
Snoop.
The only ever award that I've ever received was People's Choice Awards.
Okay.
The ever. To me, again, that's the most important award I can ever get because it's the people that chose me. It wasn't the buildings.
Okay, I feel the same way, brother. Man, that's crazy.
Ever.
T-Pain.
That's my little man.
I remember when he first came out, y'all, there were a lot of comparisons.
Yes, that's why I picked him up.
Speak on that.
I was like, hold up.
Smart.
He's convict to the core. He represent everything we represent. I mean, the sound is so similar. It was no way I would put. Like my motto was always, if there's anything that's close to what we're doing and that's representing what we're doing, make it a part of what you're doing. I would rather T-Pain been a part of us than him being my competitor.
How did y'all? I know T-Pain sat with me and talked about the business dealings he dealt with early on.
Right.
Where he felt like he was taken advantage of by the label and the people he was signed with.
I think he was in the beginning.
Yeah,
I
but that was
honestly
We the
believe.
Best, though, right? Was it? He was speaking about his relationship with Khaled at that time.
Well, a lot of those situations, it was negotiated by his manager Mike at the time.
Okay.
So as Convict, we was just a label distributor.
Okay.
We didn't never handle his business dealings. We just handled his record distribution.
Oh, it's just like 80-20 split type thing.
No, it was 50-50 because
50-50,
we was
okay.
putting up all the money, we was marketing, we was pushing it. We made him the star, but we didn't really maximize on that because we didn't manage him.
Yeah.
You know, knowing what I know today, I would have definitely managed him, and I think, I believe he would have been so much bigger because, you know, the way he was moved around, they stagnated him in the urban department, and he was already a part of a globally recognized label that clearly he could have been a global superstar. He was from a standpoint of affiliation,
Okay.
but from a stardom standpoint, like Payne is so
Talented.
man.
He really
Yes, he
is.
He's so talented. Like,
Yep.
I was trying to get him to do Afrobeat back before we even started the movement in Nigeria. This was something that Convict was supposed to start in the United States, believe it or not.
Are you
Yeah, like back
What year was
then.
this?
This was in 2008.
2008?
This was in 2008.
So when you say Afrobeats, the name that's one of the biggest names, I won't say the only name, is Wizkid.
Right.
You know?
Wizkid is probably the poster child to Afrobeat. And we
So that's
knew-
the biggest name.
Yeah, we knew he was going to be that when we discovered him. We knew that.
And what year did y'all discover Wizkid? Because the America is just now, like within a couple
America's just
years.
now, they just now understanding what this is. But we picked up Wizkid in 2010.
Damn.
Wow. And how did you get put on? What was the first time you were introduced to Wizkid?
In Nigeria, actually.
You met him at a showcase?
It was he had a manager, and the guy that he was signed to at that time before we did the joint venture, and he was the one that actually brought him to us because he felt like, okay, Wiz could be bigger, and Nigeria was just not big enough for him.
He was right.
Yeah, and believe me, and because he at the time he was a real kid, like he was only 14,
Yeah.
like he was super young. You know what I'm saying? And Banky W, who he was signed to at that time, you know, we was actually signing his label because what I was doing, I was going acquiring all the small independent labels all throughout Africa. And when we went to go acquire his label, Wizkid happened to be the artist that he had signed. But clearly, of course, at that time, they didn't have all the instruments that they needed to go to the next level. And that's what we would provide. That's what we was providing for them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Let's talk, since I got you here,
For real.
let's talk about David Guetta.
Oh man, that right there, it's interesting.
Who became an EDM
Right.
club legend,
Yep,
producer, DJ.
So it was funny because previously we was having a conversation about just the movement of how music kind of like moved into where it is today, right? And that's in all genres. And somebody was brought to my attention because half the time when you're working, you don't normally see it. And he was mentioning how everything that we actually touched became the industry standard. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, mind you, this is him explaining this to me.
David Guetta was saying this.
No. I'm leading this into David Guetta.
Okay.
So he comes, he say, yeah, you know, when you first came out, man, you know, you was like singing, but you was kind of rapping, but you wasn't like, you was more of singing, but you was rapping. And that became like now the industry standard where everyone's like singing, rapping. You know, and then, you know, we watch how it escalated into the 808 clap with auto-tune when you came with T-Pain and you started doing the auto-tune, and now that's the industry standard. And then as I was traveling, I'm at the World Music Awards, and I'm sitting next to this African lady who's like one of my biggest fans ever, and she was like, oh my God, I love you so much, you have to help my husband. He's one of the biggest DJs in Paris, he DJs in all the biggest clubs, da da da. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, yes, he's gonna perform next. And I was like, okay, cool. So he's performing now. Uh-huh. And I'm waiting for the husband to come out. He got the biggest record at the time, and it was called When the Love Is Gone, which was my favorite record. And I was like, yo, this is my favorite record. But I'm waiting for the artist to come out and sing. The show is over. The artist never came out and sing, and I was confused. I said, where was the artist? She said, that was him, the white guy. I said, what? He didn't sing, though. She said, no, he's a DJ. I said, huh? I didn't grab the concept. So when David came down, I was like, man, this is amazing, man. The record is beautiful. But was that you singing? He said, no, it's a guy out of Atlanta that actually sang that I paid him to sing on the record. I said, interesting, because back then, in house music, they would just grab a person with a beautiful voice and chop it up.
Soulful voice.
Right, like, I got the power. Yeah. You probably never seen the woman before in your life. Like, they would, but that was the standard. And I was like, so y'all just grab beautiful voice, put them on, and what, do you own the song? He said, yeah, we license it to labels and we put it out. And I was like, well, have you ever thought about putting an A-list artist on this record that everybody knew? Like, can you imagine how big that would be? And he was like, well, you know, this is expensive and we won't be able to clear them. I said, no, how about let's try it, me and you first. If it works, then we can scale this whole album out this way. So we do a record called Sexy Bitch. Right?
Sexy Bitch.
Me as an A-list artist on it, on a house music record.
Who came up with that title of the song?
Oh, I did. As soon as I went in, I produced, wrote it.
You was nasty back then. A lot of your titles was...
Might still be. Might still be.
Sexy Bitch.
And that record opened the doors for every EDM DJ to now put A-list artists on the record, which is now the industry standard.
And then you start seeing people like Waka Flocka. You start seeing rappers.
Ask Waka how he got over there. I introduced him to that world.
That was you who brought, and Waka reinvented
Waka,
his career.
Waka is probably the smartest, the smartest businessman in hip hop. That nigga get it.
I don't deny. I used to try to
He's into everything.
You want it to be managed by Waka.
Waka get it, bro.
Remember I used to?
He get it.
No, I tried to get Waka to manage me. I've never had a manager.
No, Waka is the smartest nigga in hip hop. I promise you.
What has he taught you?
Huh?
What has Waka taught you?
How smart he was. The reason why I know, because I'm moving circles you've never imagined.
Word.
And after having a conversation with him versus conversation I had with other hip hop niggas, I said, this nigga got it. He understands.
Okay, let me ask you this, man. I once heard this, and you tell me if it's true or not. Like, cause I when you see Young Thug, you see his affiliation.
Oh, that right there is another story. He's one of ours too.
You discovered Young Thug before?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Let's make a correction.
I
didn't discover Thug.
Okay.
Thug was signed to Gucci.
Okay. Right.
Thug, that's Gucci's artist. When Gucci got put away, me and Gucci was super tight before Gucci went in.
Okay.
Right? When he went away, I saw Thug and I was like, this nigga is African. That nigga look more African than any African I know. But my little brother Boo was moving Thug around. And they had this record. At the time, it was called Stoner. So we said, okay, cool, let's pick this kid up, put him around. We did a full promo run. I had one of those Sprinter vans at the time, and we put him in there to two of his homies, and everywhere Thug would go, he would actually make records in the Sprinter van, because we had like the system where you can have the microphone, you can actually record inside the studio, inside the Sprinter. So as we were working the Stoner record, he gets to Memphis, and he introduces me to OG Boo Dirty.
Wow.
That's how I met OG Boo
That's
Dirty.
how you met OG Boo Dirty.
It was Young Thug that introduced me to OG Boo Dirty.
Wow.
Yeah, but this was our record right here. Listen to him. This nigga's African. I was like, he's African, bro.
He is African.
Right.
Aren't we all?
Right.
You ain't watched The Woman King? You watched The Woman King yet?
Monster.
Come on. I love that. You happy about these stories being told?
Man, I'm super, super happy about that.
Yeah.
But what was even interesting was around that time we was pushing the Thug record, Davido was in Atlanta trying to be a rapper.
Really? Davido was in Atlanta?
Davido, who's one of the biggest Afrobeat artists of today, was in Atlanta trying to rap.
Wow.
I said, nigga, if you don't take your ass back home to Africa and do that music, that's what we need to be doing. Go to Africa.
So who are some of the artists now that you say salute to coming out of Africa and that Afrobeats movement and otherwise?
Man, I'm loving how Burna Boy is moving right now. Burna is killing it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because he's being moved around by a guy named Kirk Harding. Kirk Harding used to be the head of International for Convict when I was at SRC.
Wow.
He literally gave Burna the Akon blueprint to break him.
Wow.
Burna is one of the most, that nigga's a beast.
Selling out the garden.
He's killing it. Like he's killing it because he's coming with the swag of Nigeria and Ghana. Like he's representing it on the level that it needs to be represented on. Wizkid is just a superstar.
Yeah.
Like he's a superstar. He's one of those guys that put out one record a year, and that record lasts the whole year. Like he's like one of those. He just is born star without a doubt. Davido is like the hardest working artist because he was the underdog back then. Everybody wanted to be a Wizkid. Everybody praised Wizkid. So Davido was like the one, like he was the underdog. But what he had support was he had a wealthy family. So he was able to come every week with a new song, new video. He just kept coming. Like his discography when it comes to songs, you go on Davido, he got more songs on there than any Afrobeat artist out. But he beat you with quantity versus quality. So he had his method. Like everybody had their method of how they kind of.
Mr. Easy.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Easy is another one. That's another brilliant one.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's super smart. He's more of a businessman to me than an artist. But he understood how the music was a vehicle to get to the money.
We've had them all up here, except for Davido.
Oh, no?
No, can you make that happen?
I'm going to make that happen.
Okay.
Leave that to me.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
You got to get to Davido.
We've also had South African artists like Nasty C or Stogie T or all these different folks, a.k.a. Casper Noivest. And I realized that a lot of folks from Nigeria don't really know.
It's like that market is so segregated.
Yeah.
South African music versus Nigerian music is two different genres.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like country music and R&B.
Wow.
Really?
That's
that
how
different,
it's
right?
that different.
I love this
It's that
information because
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, like, are you familiar with, I'm educating folks from the continent about artists from the continent.
Right.
And I realized, okay, there's, 54 countries? Or what?
Oh, yeah, it's about 54 countries.
In Africa. So why would they know necessarily? Like, I don't know every artist in every other country.
Right, yeah. So
Right?
a lot of them, now, but because of the internet, they're all starting to kind of move in. See, that's where Wizkid actually had an advantage because I would pull producers from South Africa to work with Wizkid.
Damn.
So Wizkid's records never sounded like they were from Nigeria. He was already Nigerian. He was from the Igbo, so when he spoke, you knew he was Nigerian, but his music was a little different. So he would kind of change the wave a little bit, and that's what made him stand out from everybody.
Akon is here, man. We celebrating 15 years. We got a few minutes left, man. There's a lot of people online. Can we go through some quick calls?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Let's start with Daniel and Cali. Daniel, what's your question?
Hey, Danny.
Hey, Con, I just want to ask you the question of what's your thoughts on solar, and do you think that with the solar industry how it is, if that's going to be a good thing for young black men to get into the industry now?
Yeah, actually, it's interesting you raised that point because solar is one of the few energy sources that anybody can actually get in. Because I remember when I was getting into the energy business, it was in America it was impossible. It was no way. Like it was, it was governed by the United States. It's monopolized. Yeah. If you wasn't down with them boys in Texas, it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Period. That's just what it was, right? But when I went to Africa, I was able to start my own utility company and gained enough power in Africa that I was able to work in the United States. So we're currently working right now with the Biden renewable energy plan. When we're literally the only black solar providers that's doing it on a utility scale in the whole United States.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Daniel, thank you. And the Biden administration has made it easy for you?
Yep, way easier.
Okay.
So you can definitely get into the market real easy right now.
Foreign is on the line from Boston. Foreign, go ahead.
Hey, Foreign.
What's up? What up? What's up, y'all? Akon, y'all touched on everything Africa. We're proud of you as an African. We love what you're doing out here in these streets, bro.
Thank you,
You
brother.
and Boo. We see what Boo's doing as well. He got a Kenyan artist by the name of Casey.
Yep.
We can't wait for him. We can't forget about the Kenyan artist. Y'all talk
Nah,
about
you can't.
South Africa and West Africa a lot. But don't forget about Kenya. You know what I mean?
But see, that's the thing. Don't separate it. Africa is Africa. I think that's the mistake we always made.
Yeah.
You know, you got West Africa, East Africa, North Africa, South Africa. Africa is Africa, bro. Like if we stay as one, believe me, everybody get their fair shine.
If we stay as one,
yep,
everybody will get their fair shot. That should be a quote. What's your question?
To say real quick, Sway, shout out to you because Kanye just said you was right all along, all these 10 years, bro.
Hey, all these years. It took 10 years.
You had the answer. He said that. Sway had the answer. But Akon, how you feel? Can you kind of low key tell people about just how Africa has an influence, especially as executive behind the scenes in American music? We know what you did, but you know you got Tumba over there at YouTube, and like there's a lot of Africa fabric that's in these high-ranking, you know what I mean, in music industry. Can you kind of just touch on that and let people know how Africa is really making an impact out here? Oh,
no, absolutely, man. The thing is now it's almost cool to be African. In the beginning, a lot of people shied away from being African. Even back then, when I was coming up, there was a lot of huge African executives, artists that was African but never really claimed it. But, now that everybody's kind of opening up and we're kind of realizing our power as embracing who we are as people, it's opening the doors actually for bigger opportunities to make even more money outside the United States and within the States itself when we come together and do major projects. But, yeah, we running the industry right now.
Hey, Foreign.
We appreciate you. You're the one who did it for us, bro.
No, thank you.
Yeah, hey, man, listen, that's how, come on, man. Let's give this man his props. Foreign, you a citizen, man.
A sway in the morning.
I like when artists from Africa work from artists from Africa who live in the United States, like us.
Right.
Right. We all from Africa, so, it all goes,
it all comes back.
It all comes back. Burna Boy said to me, hey, what are you? I said, I'm African-American. He said, why you say American?
Right.
Looked you dead in your soul.
He set me up for that.
He set you up for that.
I said I'm an African born in America.
There you go.
But when we come together,
it's different,
man. We are the culture. We are the power. We are the beginning. We are the alpha.
That's why we so feared.
Yeah.
And this is why the system is set up to keep us down. But it's set up to keep us down, but it ain't meant to keep us down. Yeah. We allow it.
Yeah.
Because even when it's so crazy, and I hate to talk like this, but sometimes it just need to be heard. Like, we control all the entertainment business. Mm-hmm. We control all the sports. We control all fashion. We control all the influencing platforms. Mm-hmm. We're the reason why they're making billions and billions of dollars, but we never came together to do it for ourselves. And then we're all out there shopping for situations to do it for them.
Yeah.
Like, we're busting our ass shopping for situations to do it for them when we can all just literally come together and just do it for ourselves.
And listen, in all seriousness, that's the glory of where Kanye has landed now.
Right.
Why am I I can't control it. They doing shit I don't want it. This ain't what I said. I don't like that price point. How y'all doing? I'm just going to do it myself.
Do it the way you feel is the right way to
do it. with my people.
But let's do it together.
Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Hey, Akon, man, this has been a beautiful conversation, and we could go another hour, to be quite honest with you. I'm trying to think of what else I didn't touch on. What's something that people don't know?
Man.
There's too many things.
The media been all over me. It's nothing they don't know. And you know me, I've always been honest and upfront with everything. So believe me, there's nothing out there that they don't know at this point.
Do you want to have more children?
No. I'm actually my you could say legacy is fully controlled now. And all my kids were made by design because they all got a piece of my legacy that they will literally control.
Wow.
So now the only kids I'm gonna have is grandkids because I want to be my retirement years. I want to be able to be there for them because I wasn't there for my my firstborns.
Mm-hmm.
Their hardest challenge with me was just dad not being available because I've been so busy.
Right.
But me showing the love to their kids will show the sacrifice given back to what I miss with them.
I got you.
Yeah.
And we talk about it. My little cousin Jaden is his son.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
From my cousin Farrah out of Oakland. And, so I brag about it that Akon is.
Right.
Yeah, we family.
You got family in high places.
Hey,
Sway.
right? That's the first thing I said. He said, "No, that's my man. That's family." I said, "No. I mean, like we're blood connected.
We're connected now.
Like that's family.
Yeah. And he has a beautiful son. You have beautiful children all around. Right. All your kids are beautiful. And my little cousin Jaden is just a special dude. And I see so much of you in him. That is really amazing. And his mom, Farrah, I gotta say this because they're gonna watch it.
No, listen, it's open sesame. That's my boy.
Yes.
And it's funny because I was just talking to him before I came here.
Mm-hmm.
I texted him and then he told him I'm going to see Sway, and he sent me his a SoundCloud. I said, hold up, little nigga, let me see what you're talking about. I heard the lyrics. I said, I'm gonna talk to you after Sway's interview.
We need a conversation.
I said, man, we need to talk.
He did Sexy Bitch Part 2.
Right, we need to talk.
Sexy bitch part 2.
Hold up now.
And he's a little dude. He ain't like 9, 10.
No, and the funny part, when he was even younger, Sway would put him on the spot and just make him freestyle.
Word. Oh, yeah, that's Calloway.
He used to kill it too.
That is Calloway.
It's a
He be ready.
spit bars.
He be ready.
We got a hyena up there.
Man.
I love that kid, man.
Uncle. That's beautiful though.
Nah, but I mean, see, and it's the beautiful part about because they all so precious. I love them all so much, but because of who and what God made me,
Amen.
it's like you got to sacrifice something, and the worst part is sacrificing the family. And it's like you don't spend. And then he's on the West Coast, so that's why I got my house in Cali. So whenever I'm in Cali, I could be closer to him. But with all this moving around, dealing with this and that, it's really hard to spend time the way you want to, man.
Hey, man, I'm not sure if the game acknowledges you well enough.
Yeah.
Like, you are a true pillar in this. You are a staple in this. When we talk about who been influential, if we put a chart up of all the artists whose careers you've touched, impacted, written for, benefited from your success, you're in a high bar.
Oh, absolutely.
A high bar of people who've come through this culture, man. Wow. And the way you've done it. And the way you're bridging the continents that's what's that warms my heart. Because our folks over there need to know about our folks over here. Our folks over here really need to know about what's going on over there. All this money we invest over here, we should be investing over there.
I'm telling you're going to get it back 10 times forward and faster.
And then there'll be people there that love you for you.
Yes.
You're not doing business with people who secretly hate you.
Right.
Ain't never gonna let you get bigger than them.
Never.
So I want to commend you. As my family member.
There we go.
As a man, as an artist, I love you, Akon.
Nah, same, bro.
All right, brother. Hey, congratulations, man. He got a new single. Enjoy that.
Enjoy that.
Tell me about it.
Man, why have a life like mine if you don't take the time to enjoy it? That's all I have to say.
There it is.
Enjoy thy fruit.
And on that note, we got nothing left to say. Here it is.